Vertical mill cleanup and maintenance. This module will cover the important points of keeping your milling machine in good working condition in order to avoid premature wear of any of the parts of this costly equipment. After completion of a job, or at the end of a work shift, the machine must be cleaned. This ensures that the next job can be set up properly. Before beginning cleanup, remove the workpiece from the table. Next, remove the cutter and collet from the spindle. You did use caution to avoid cut fingers, didn't you? Take a brush and clean the chips from the vise and table. Just brush them onto the floor to be swept up later. Never use the air nozzle to blow the chips from the machine. In order to clean the slots in the table, a special tool called a T-slot cleaner may be used. The T-slot cleaner is placed in the groove next to the vise and then pulled through the slot toward the end of the table. All of the chips left in the slots after brushing will be cleaned out. Use a clean shop rag and wipe all the painted surfaces of the machine. Dirt has a way of accumulating and building up to where it may have to be scraped off. This can destroy the paint on the machine. With another clean rag, wipe off the table and the ways of the saddle and knee. It's a good suggestion to put a light coat of oil on the saddle ways and knee ways after wiping them clean. After all the chips have been cleared from the machine, sweep the floor around the base of the machine. Chips can become embedded in the soles of your shoes and make them slippery, which is very dangerous. Now that the mill is clean, let's cover some of the more important maintenance tips. Before you even approach the on button to apply power to your machine, check all the oil sight gauges if the machine is so equipped. When the machine is not in operation, the oil should be at the high point in the gauges, and it should drop when the machine is under operation. Examine the oil flow critically, and if you don't see it passing through the oil flow gauges when the machine is on, stop the motor and check the oil level. If it is at the proper level and the oil still doesn't flow, stop everything and report the condition. Check the motor. If it has Zerk fittings, grease it according to specifications, if this maintenance is part of the operator's responsibility. If you don't see any grease fittings, that means that it has bearings that are sealed for life. On most milling machines, you will find 3 reservoirs with capacities running from 1 pint to 3 gallons. These are for the automatic oiling systems of the machines. Each reservoir is assigned to furnish lubricant for certain areas, but it is up to the operator to see that the reservoirs are full. The reservoir for the saddle table drive, knee saddle, and the saddle table ways contains 1 pint. To operate this vital system, draw out and release the pump handle. This has to be done at least twice a day. As the lubricant is used, fill the reservoir to the upper line on the sight gauge. The reservoir that supplies lubricant for the knee drive, feed distribution box, feed and rapid traverse drive bracket, column and knee ways, and the elevating screw has a 1.5 gallon capacity. When it is necessary for you to service this reservoir, first drain it completely. Refill the reservoir with a flushing solvent and operate the machine for about 10 minutes. Stop the machine and drain the reservoir of the flushing solvent. Then refill it again with the recommended oil. This only has to be done about every 4 months or every 500 hours, whichever comes first. The largest reservoir, a capacity of 3 gallons, is used to supply oil to the spindle drive, the speed gearbox, and pulley bracket. When this reservoir needs attention, the operator will have to stop the motor and add enough oil to bring the level to the upper line on the sight gauge. There is no time rule for servicing this reservoir other than to advise the operator to watch the sight gauge and take care of it whenever the need arises. Other parts of the machine are not lubricated by the automatic system and have to be hand oiled by filling the lubricating oil cups as part of a daily routine. Some machines are not equipped with automatic lubrication systems, as illustrated by this Bridgeport vertical mill. The knee, saddle, and tableways must be lubricated with a hand grease gun. Many machines are equipped with a centralized lubrication system. To operate this type, simply pull out on the feed pump handle and release it. As the handle retracts, lubricant is distributed to various points on the knee, saddle, and table. When you are refilling reservoirs, filling oil cups, or hand oiling with an oil can, be sure to follow the manufacturer's recommendations regarding the type of lubricant to use. You will find these available in every shop that is interested in maintaining its machines in the best possible way. Another maintenance tip is to keep all the protective covers on the coolant system screens when the machine is used without the coolant. Periodically check the screens and clean them. Don't forget to keep an eye on the coolant level. When it's low, remove the cover and add coolant until the level rises to the screens. Remember to use the same coolant that is already in the system. A light cutting oil, soluble oil, or chemical coolant may be used. When coolant becomes rancid, smells bad, it must be changed. A helpful operation hint is to check the table of the mill occasionally for nicks or burrs. This is most important if a part or tool has been accidentally dropped on the table. If any nicks or burrs are present, remove them with a fine file or honing stone. Another tip is to never remove the table stops. If it is necessary to remove the stops, always replace them immediately after completing the job. Competent maintenance will not prevent parts from wearing and eventually having to be replaced, but it will certainly lengthen the life of the machine and reward you with a smoother operation in the meantime.